What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Mr. Debt here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 5 key steps I believe is important on starting your debt-free journey. Before we get started and before I let you know on what those 5 steps actually are, if you're interested on finding them out, please stick around. Before we get into that, just want to tell you a little bit about my story. I got into debt when I was 22 years old. Over the years, I accumulated over $200,000 of debt. It was a tough road, still is a tough road, and it's going to be a tough road ahead, but I've learned so much along the way, and today I want to share my story with you guys on how I'm taking control of the debt, the finances, and exactly what those 5 steps are. So those 5 steps are avoiding big financial mistakes. Pretty obvious, but some of us still need that reminder. Second thing is learning from the mistakes. Third is finding motivation. Fourth is celebrating small wins. And fifth is the power of creating a budget. Okay, now let me dive a little bit deeper into those. When I say avoid big financial mistakes, my journey into debt began when I invested in a real estate course. Okay, I thought it was a surefire way to make some money. However, it turned into a huge mistake, and that mistake led to a series of bad mistakes along the way, right? Looking back, I realized that I was trying to fast track the proven paths of success because I wanted everything yesterday, right? And to my realization that trying to create shortcuts, trying to make things happen sooner than they need to, turn out just expanding the time it takes to actually get to that end goal, right? There's no benefit of trying to rush things and trying to create new ways and trying to reinvent the wheel. So avoiding big financial mistakes, obviously if we can avoid that, that's a huge thing. However, people make the mistakes, right? And once we make those big financial mistakes, that comes to the second step, which is learning from the mistakes, right? As they say, hindsight 2020, it's so much easier to say that you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have invested in that. It's easy to say what you shouldn't have done once it's been done and once you know that it's not the best route, right? And that's not what it actually turned out to be. However, I learned a lot from my mistakes, and I'm here to tell you guys that you can as well. The first step is acknowledging that the mistake has been made and it is your mistake, it's not anyone else's, and you need to learn from them. You need to move on, right? Don't let your past mistakes define who you are, and use that as a stepping stone to better your future and to empower the future self that you are striving to become, right? Once you are willing to accept that you made the mistake and that you're willing to learn from the mistake, you have to find motivation, right? Now, I know that there's a lot of things out there saying that motivation isn't everything. I can and I will agree with that. However, the first step of kind of that aspect of perseverance and determination is motivation, right? I know firsthand on how hard it can be to find motivation when you're drowning, when you're in that dark place, when you're feeling alone, feeling ashamed, feeling like you're just never going to get out of the situation that you have put yourself in or that someone has put yourself in. And it's tough, right? It's very easy to feel overwhelmed and to give up at that point, right? But let me tell you that if I can do it, I know you guys can as well, right? You're not alone. I'm here to hopefully give you motivation, right? To have you find motivation, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of encouragement, right? And that's what I've trying to create this YouTube channel for. That's what I'm here for, is to help you guys out as I'm helping myself out, right? But finding motivation is a key step in that, right? Once you find that motivation, the next thing is to celebrate small wins, right? On the path to becoming debt-free, and it's super important to make sure you stop and smell the roses, right? As I say, celebrate those small wins. Paying off credit card loans, student loans, line of credit, no matter how big, no matter how small, paying off any kind of amount that you can is a significant step in the right direction. It might not seem like it is because you have X amount and what you're putting towards it only brings it down by a little bit. However, you're moving that needle forward rather than backwards, and that is huge, right? It is progress, and progress is something that needs to be celebrated along this journey, right? It's so easy to forget that becoming debt-free is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not something that can happen in 2 days, or even in 1 day, as we all hope for, right? It's something that's going to take time, and it's going to take effort, right? And once you realize that there's that marathon and you need to celebrate every single small win that you can, that's when you can start realizing, okay, well, in order to do that, in order to have the ability to celebrate those small wins, we have to understand the importance and the power of budgeting, right? Which brings us to our fifth and final point already, is the power of budgeting. When I talk about the power of budgeting, it's the cornerstone of any successful debt-free journey, right? It is the rebar in the concrete foundation for those of you who are in construction. Those of you who aren't, little side note, putting the rebar in that concrete is what reinforces it, what makes it that much stronger, right? Without having the rebar in that concrete, the foundation is going to crumble, right? Or it's going to crumble a lot faster, right? And having the ability to budget, that is what strengthens, and that is the cornerstone of every debt-free journey. Okay, it's not always easy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's not something that is gonna be a fun and exciting for majority of people. It's not. I actually started to find, not a hobby, but I find interest in it, right? Because I know that it's always bringing me closer to my goal. However, for a lot of people out there, budgeting is not that easy. It's not that fun. It's not that exciting. It's very dry, boring, and that's probably going to be the case for those of you watching. However, it's worth it without a shadow of a doubt. Once you create that budget, you can make those adjustments, right? There's gonna have to be sacrifices made. Listen, I'm making sacrifices. Every single day I look at my budgeting sheet and I try to see how I can make it better, how I can tweak it, make it that much more efficient. And because I know the more I cut back, it shortens the amount of time that I have to sacrifice, right? Budgeting you could think of as an equation, right? The numbers don't lie, and you have X and you want to get to Y, right? And if you shorten, the more that you take away from the expenses and increase the income that you're able to put towards the debt, it shortens the time that you're going to have to spend sacrificing and living that different lifestyle, right? I don't know if frugal is the right word. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let me know. Feel free. But yeah, that's a crucial step. Once you create that, once you have that sheet done, you're able to make adjustments where you can, and you're able to take control of your finances, right? So throughout this video, if you want to let me know on the small wins that we can celebrate together that you have made for your debt journey and where you find yourself, feel free to post it in the comments. I'm going to make it my mission that I'm going to respond to every single comment that's out there. So feel free to throw out as many that you want. I'm going to be out. I'm going to be making sure that I respond to every single one of them. No matter how big, no matter how small, no matter what you want to talk about in terms of where you're at in your debt-free journey and how much you put towards it, post away. I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to talking to you guys after about that, right? So there you have it, guys. Those are what I think are the 5 key tips that you need to start your financial debt-free journey. Okay, I want you to come along with me together on this journey, and remember, you're not a victim of your circumstances. Okay, you have the power. You have all the power in the world to take control of your life, and if I can do it, I have all the faith, and I know you guys can do it too. All right, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video to anyone else who you know needs to hear this message. Okay, thank you all once again, and I look forward to talking to you on the next one.